What's up, everybody? Pete with Auto Repair Tips. Happy New Year to you. Can't believe it's 2024. Where the heck did the year go, right? All right, guys, let's get into this video. It's a 2010 INFINITI QX56. Sounds badass, don't it? All right, the customer come in with multiple things. Headlight's not working, his seatbelt light is on, the airbag light's on, the rear suspension is acting funny. He said might be airbags, could be shocks. He's not really sure. So in this video, we're going to check this list of complaints out and see what we can do about it. Let's get into it. All right, I think the easiest thing to do is let's start with the headlights. Let's cut them on and see what happens. That one's working, and that one's working. Well, that was the easy fix, right? That's a little bit different color though, like it's going out or something. Look at that one starting to flicker. Oh, there you go. Pretty sure that's just gonna be a light bulb. That's an easy fix there. Let's, you know what? Let me pop it and look at it just to play it safe. Let's see what kind of light bulbs are in this thing. Yesterday I had one of my guys pull off the bumper to get this headlight out. There's a clip right here. You push in, pull the wiring harness out. It's one of them days I can't seem to talk. It's got a handful, 8 millimeters. Hold it on. Come on. So there's 4 8 millimeters. And the headlight just comes right out. Nope. Nope. What's got me? A 10 on the side. So just so you guys know, I'm not charging the customer for taking that bumper off the car to take the headlight out. It is something you probably can do on the car. I just felt better taking it off my own self. And second, it's easier for me to show you how to take that bulb out and install the new one correctly. So don't worry, I'm not charging the customer. All right, as soon as the part gets here, we'll get it installed. I'll get the headlight back on and we'll move on to the next thing. All right, we just got the part in. It's a D2R. So to remove the headlight bulb, this is what powers the bulb. You're gonna take this metal sleeve here, clip, ring, whatever you wanna call it. You're gonna turn it counterclockwise like 1/8 of a turn. And when you take it off, that's what it looks like. Just like that. This is what powers that bulb. When you're taking the bulb out, there's a wire clip and it loops around each side of the bulb. You're going to take it down, push down, press outward, and that releases the bulb just like this. And take the bulb out and that's what it looks like. So when you're putting the new one in, don't put your hands all over it because the oils on your hand will cause it to blow when you put it back together. You're going to line it up. Just reverse procedure on these clips. You're going to push down and go under. Also, I'm going to make sure that this screw is tight. There's a little Torx head right there that holds that clip. Just check it while you're there, just for precautionary, I guess you could say. So when you put this back on, it's going to go in. Come on. And you'll turn it clockwise about 1/8 of a turn. You're going to tuck it all back together. Hello. What the hell? Oh, okay. Had a brain fart. Go back with the screws. All right, let's go ahead and get it plugged in, turn the headlight on, and let's make sure that it stays lit without cutting off. It's already a different color. If you remember the other one when we first cut it on, it was almost like a brownish color. I think we're good to go. All right, let's go ahead and get the headlight bolted back in. I'll get my guy to put the bumper back on, and we'll finish checking this car out. Next up on the list, he said his airbag light has been flashing and his seatbelt light won't go off. So let's take a second and let's get the scanner hooked up to it. Let's do an automatic ID. Let's see if there are any codes to give us a direction of which way to go. All right, we got it loaded in the system here. Let's start off with, I'll tell you what, I'm gonna go into engine first. Let's just look at any codes that might be in there. So there's no codes there. Didn't suspect any, but let's go into the airbag system. I'm thinking the airbag and the seatbelt are linked together. Let's do codes only. No communication. Well, I know we have communication. Let's retry it. All right, let's do current codes. The driver's airbag module's open. Driver airbag module's open. Say diagnosis, take a look at it real quick. Replace airbag module. Let's look at smart data. No data available for that code. Customer states that the airbag light is on. Connected a scan tool and found the code B1049. Driver airbag modules open. Followed manufacturer's procedure and removed the driver's airbag from the steering wheel. Disconnected the steering wheel clock spring connector from the airbag. Visually inspected the connector and terminals and found no obvious signs of damage. Performed a visual inspection of the steering wheel clock spring, found no obvious signs of damage. Removed the steering wheel clock spring from the vehicle. Using multimeter, tested the steering wheel clock spring for continuity, found that the clock spring was electrically open. These results of these tests verified that the steering wheel clock spring was faulty. That's most likely the case with this one here. It's probably guaranteed got a faulty clock spring. I've seen that so many times with the airbag. He was looking at it, he was worried about it because of state inspection. But in Virginia, they just passed a law to where the airbag, believe it or not, light can be on and it won't fail state inspection. What's got me going though is the seatbelt light is on. So let's do this. Let's plug in this seatbelt and let's see, does this light go off? And indeed, the light does go off. Hold on a second here. Well, he's saying it's staying on, so I'm not seeing it. Let's see something real quick. So I'm gonna unplug it. Light comes on, plug it in, light goes off. I wanna hop on the passenger side and let's see if it detects me sitting there and does that one go off. Maybe that's the one that's faulty. So I'm sitting on the passenger side and I'm in the seat. It's not buckled in. It detects me sitting here. If I raise my body off the seat, it knows I'm not sitting here, the light goes on. If I sit down, the light comes on. Let's plug this seat belt in and let's see what happens here. I'm sitting down, plug it in, the light goes off. So most likely, maybe something glitched, but the seat belts are working correctly, the light. He just may be confused, thinking the airbag light, or maybe he wasn't seat belted in, and that could be the problem too. When it comes to the clock spring, you guys are gonna have to trust me. I've done 1,000 of these. I'm like 99% sure that's gonna be that man's problem, is that clock spring. Over a period of time, they just wear out on the inside and they come apart and it becomes an open circuit. Before I take it apart though, I will call him and get a verification he wants me to replace it and do that. Only because in the state of Virginia, like I said earlier, you don't need that airbag light to be off to pass state inspection. That's a law they just recently passed like a month ago, I think it was. All right, before I call the customer, let's see what's next on his list and what else we can knock out. We did the headlamp, the seat belt worked correctly, the airbag light's on. He wants me to look at the rear airbag suspension. So before I do that, let me take it for a test drive. Maybe I can feel what he's feeling. All right, let's see if we can feel what this gentleman's feeling on a test drive here. Try to hit as many bumps as I can. He says it feels like it floats a little bit in the rear. I hear tire noise. I do hear that. It's bouncing like a freaking ship with 10-foot waves. Probably got some bad shocks in the front and in the rear. I ain't sure if you guys can see that hood or not, but watch this. All right, let's get this thing back in the shop and up on the lift, and let's check these shocks out. Before I get into anything more on this car, I'm gonna do a pre-scan on this thing, and I'm gonna see if anything comes up with the airbag suspension. It looks like to me, he just put new shocks on the front, and my guy was shaking it. It didn't feel too bad. It's very possible that the air system's not working correctly on this thing, because in the rear, you just have springs in your airbag system. And if it's not working correctly, this should pick it up. Suspension air leveler. Vehicle height adjustment air. Exhaust solenoid. Let's check this out. See what this is here. There are no repairs available for this thing. May have to go in a little bit deeper. What's the code on this? It's a C1805. Let's go to repair information. I think it's all-wheel drive. It's probably not gonna make a difference anyway when you're looking at the air suspension. Do component operation. The height adjustment malfunction solenoid. C1805 height adjustment malfunction EXH solenoid. Description. The exhaust valve solenoid controls the vent function of the suspension control system. The exhaust valve solenoid is built into the suspension air compressor. The suspension control unit supplies voltage to the exhaust valve solenoid to activate it. So the C1805, the vehicle height adjustment malfunction, diagnostics, continue exhaust valve on solenoid, time is more than 120 seconds. Show power in the exhaust valve control circuit, refer to component function check. Let's check that out. Ensure the suspension control system has air pressure and is not dropping in the rear, which it's definitely not dropping in the rear because we're sitting level. Select the exhaust solenoid of the air level active test item. While operating the test item, check the exhaust valve solenoid opens to vent air from the system. The vehicle should lower when the exhaust valve solenoid is activated. On, air vents in vehicle ride height lowers. When they're off, makes sense. When they're off, they go up. All right, so tell you what we're going to do. Let's go back here. Let's go into the scanner. Let's go back. Let's go back here. Let's see if I can get to where the automatic ride leveling system is and see if I can operate it. What do we got? Engine, transmission, tire pressure, oil specs, ADAS, any theft, audio, body control. Could be in body control, heating and air. Right here at the very bottom. I guess if I'd have went down in alphabetical order, that's where it should have been, right? Let's verify that's it. Codes. That's it. We're in the right area. Let's go to functional tests. The exhaust solenoid. Let's check it out. All right, hold on a second. Not sure if you could hear that. Let's go under the car. Oh, shit. I could hear something kick on when I did that. So let's take a look and let's see. So, ready? Nothing. Let's exit that test here. Let's do this. Let's look at the compressor. All right. So I kicked the compressor on. We know it's working. You can hear it. Compressor's off. I bet that exhaust valve is stuck open. Let's go back. Let's go back one. So let's check this out real quick here. Hold on. Ensure the suspension control system has air pressure and is not dropping in the rear. So it's definitely not dropping in the rear. It could be a little bit, but maybe not much. The vehicle solenoid should lower when the exhaust valve is activated. So I cut it on, it didn't move. When I cut it off, so when I'm going back over here, and we go back into the scanner, and we go to the exhaust valve, and then I hit on, that car didn't move at all. It stayed in the exact same spot. If I cut it off, it's off now. We should go, if I went to the compressor and hit it, it should pump that system up. All right, let's do this. Let me go ahead and get this thing up in the air, and let's get to where I can do some testing on it and go a little bit further. Not sure if you can really see this or not, but those are basically your valves up there. And this thing they're corroded. It's like corrosion everywhere. What I'm gonna do is, let me go ahead back to where I was at a minute ago. Let's go to my functional test again. I wanna go to the compressor. I'm gonna turn the compressor on and see, do I feel anything out of the ordinary? No, this thing is toast. Let's cut it off. Let's exit this. Let's go to the exhaust valve. Cut it on. I wonder if I'm getting 12 volts to it. Tell you what, let me cut it off. Let me pull a wire. I'm gonna pull a wiring schematic on this real quick and see which one is hot and which one is ground. So what I've done is I've hooked to the ground and the power supply on the vent valve, which is right there. And when I cut this on, it should give it 12 volts. All right, 10.3. I've had the battery on for a little bit, so it probably lost a little juice. But we know we're getting the correct signal back here. It's just that valve ain't working. So this is kaput. You need to price out a solenoid. Well, actually it comes with the compressor. So I'll price out the assembly to him and see what he wants to do. After talking to the customer, he decided that he's not gonna go ahead and do the air pump, or he's not gonna do the clock spring in the steering wheel. It's just way too expensive right now, especially right after Christmas, right? But what I did see that we're gonna go ahead and finish knocking it out is, if you look right here, there's supposed to be a tailpipe that goes from here to there, and it's gone. So we're gonna knock that out for him. There's a pipe that's going on the car. Once we get that tailpipe on, this job is done and we're on to the next. Out with the old, in with the new. Hold on a second, I gotta get these back in place.
Oh, that's why I couldn't see them red.
Yeah, got that there. Got your, I get it, it's because it's gonna get all goofy.
I think you got it somewhere.
One nut, two washers. Which one are you, the bolt or the nut?
Probably. I'm just a jerk. Retard.
No, you're not.
The nut and bolt guy.
Hey, give us 5 minutes, all right, man?
5 minutes and I'll get right with you.
I want to make a couple of suggestions back there too. Let me get this, you get the top. You dog. You know the funny thing about all this? Literally 4 feet off the ground and my guy's on his tiptoes. How tall are you now?
I don't know.
So, doing mechanic work, if you don't have a body hammer, a duckbill hammer, then you're missing out. You'd be surprised with push clips and clips, how many times that this body hammer has got me out of jams doing mechanic work. Because probably a lot of y'all don't know, but I started off, I was here back in the day when I was in high school. I did body and paint work. I did a lot of custom paint jobs. That's all I did. I didn't do any mechanic work. Duckbill, baby. Don't leave home without it. And just like that, this job is done. I appreciate you watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave a comment. Catch you later.